I'm in here with King of Pressure Washing. Today, I want to talk. I've been having some talks with Jason and a couple other people, and I read an article today, and I'm actually going to show you this article. And this is, why do businesses fail? Why is it that it can be so hard for businesses to be successful? Why is it? What are some things that make us struggle, and what causes us not to succeed? And so I'm going to hit on about 3 or 4 things that can cause this. And this is something that I think that is important so that we can overcome this, so we don't get into a rut and get hurt by things that could cause us to not succeed. So, some things that we are right here at right after Thanksgiving. And so we had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend with Thanksgiving being here. And these are some things I want to hit on so that way you don't fall in the trap of failure, right? And so before we get started here, we got some people. We got Greg, what's up? We got Jack Garrett. I still have to send your stuff. I have not sent that yet. Got it on my to-do list. Hit the like button, like a competitor stealing your yard signs. And, these are some things that we can always worry about, of what our competitors are doing and they're stealing my yard signs, or we can just do whatever we need to do, right? Or you can go out there and be like Chris and you just put out 200 yard signs, and you don't care if they steal them or not, because they're going to get another yard sign that they can steal too. So you make it happen and make it done and get it done right. Turkey comas are not fun. I agree with you there. Hey, I like watching your videos. Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. I thank you for watching my videos along with everybody else that watches the video. So let's get this show on the road. So I am a fan of, I like listening to and reading his stuff, of Ryan Stewman. Ryan Stewman is a very successful business owner, and he writes a lot of stuff for stuff. So he wrote this article yesterday, and it was talking about, it was actually from Andrew Tate, and he was talking about that because he signs up, right? He's successful, and he still buys other people's stuff so that he can make him more successful in how to do it. And so he was talking about that on the video. Tate talks about, you're broke because one of 3 reasons. And this kind of goes back to not just that you're broke because of one of 3 reasons, but why you might not be successful, one of 3 reasons. And they're pretty simple reasons. And I kind of like this, and I think it is very true. And I think that it is definitely something that you can change in your mindset, and you can change the way you think and change the way you do things. And this will help you be successful, and it will also keep you from failure. And that is my goal. Now, I know I say a lot of times that, we want to fail fast, right? We're going to fail. There's nothing you can do about it. That it's not like everything you do is just going to be amazing and you're never going to fail. So if we're going to fail, we want to fail fast. So then that way we can keep us moving forward and getting to the places that we need to get to and be successful and be able to hit things that we would never believe that we could hit. And so these are the 3 things that he was talking about that can cause us to not get to where we want to go. One is lazy, right? Lazy, stupid, or arrogant. And so with that, he says that, a lazy is what most people assume is their reason. And that's what I originally thought. A lot of people know what they need to do, but they just don't do it, right? You know what you need to do, but I don't want to do a post on social media. I don't want to go put out yard signs. I don't want to go do these things that I know I need to do, but I don't want to. So that could be lazy, and that's one thing. And he says that most people assume the reason, but in reality, most people aren't lazy. They just don't want to do what's required to be successful. Most people put their energy in non-money productive activities. Instead of going out and doing our yard signs, we get on our phone, and instead of posting a video, we get on TikTok, we get on all the other social media apps, and we do non-money productive stuff. Right? We get into the Facebook groups, we get into whatever that doesn't make us move forward. And so these are some things that are going to hurt our business and going to keep us from going up and from growing. And so what are some things that is on your list of non-productive money-making things? Put in the comments. I want to see what some of your non-productive money things are that's holding you back, right? It's one of those things that, we're lazy. It's not that we're lazy. We're going to do things that we are trying to do otherwise that we don't need to do. And so I'm going to read, hey, thanks so much for all you help consistently posting content, Jason. Our company's first power soft washing, we have done 150,000 and 20,000 with Christmas lights so far. And so that's a high five. What are you doing over here? That's a high five. I'm definitely going to give you a high five because that is amazing that you've done 150,000 your very first year and $20,000 in Christmas lights. And so yard signs, networking systems, and hustling. YouTube is a big time suck. Facebook, YouTube, fear of failing and being told no. That's a different one. That's on my list here of why people doesn't do it. So he said most people aren't stupid. And that's true, right? There's a matter of fact, there's anything on YouTube that you can go find information and put it toward good use, and you can make it whatever you want to do. You can say you could use stupid, but unless you have a learning disability, but even a learning disability, right? There's videos, there's audio, there's written word, and usually you're going to learn by one of those couple of those situations there. So that's not it. But he said last people are mostly arrogant. And this is what kind of got me thinking about why do people fail? Because they're arrogant. Imagine making $100,000 a year and a millionaire tells you how to make $1 million. But I'm going to go down even less than that. Imagine making $50,000 a year and a person making $100,000 a year gives you some information. But $100,000 a year, a millionaire tells you how to make $1 million, but you decide you don't want that advice and you do it your way. I see this so many times, and this is something that's real simple. It's not overcomplicated, but it's yard signs, right? I tell people one service, pressure wash, and big phone number. And the next thing I do is I'll see somebody come and they'll show me their new yard signs that they got, and they look something like this, right? And I'm like, I said one service and a phone number. I don't care about all this other stuff. And I see this over and over and over. I'll be like, go make some videos. And next thing I know, I've seen these people making videos on how to start a pressure washing business. I'm like, is that the people you're trying to find? No, it's not, right? That's not the people you're trying to serve. And so it's one of those things, and I see people and they want to go and they do this stuff, and it's like, it just drives me nuts sometimes, right? I'm not telling you to do this to hurt your business. I'm not telling you to put one sign. I'm not telling you to put your logo on there. But you think it's a great idea that your logo is going to make you all this money because this logo is just amazing to you. People don't care about your logo, right? And so these are some things that people get arrogant and they think they know better than the person that has been there. I've made $1 million in a pressure washing Christmas light business. I know how to get there. I've helped several other people do the exact same thing, right? And the formula hasn't changed from when I was doing it and sold it 5 years ago to today. It hasn't changed. It's still the same formula, right? It's where do we get our stuff that we get our systems in line? Do you have your phone systems in line? I was talking to some people actually in my Christmas light group, and they're like, Man, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. You know all these systems and getting all the work done, and you're right. We got all these systems and we got all these things that we have to do, that we have to make this happen. And so, I've told people, I'm like, I could give you all the leads to make it to $1 million, but if you don't have systems in place, you're going to fail. You will literally fail, because you won't be able to, you'll be ready to pull your hair out because you're losing leads, you're not closing leads, you're not doing the things you need to do to make sure that we're keeping that up and keeping it happening. And then he goes on and says, imagine making $1 million and talking to a billionaire and them asking you to pay them or invest alongside of them. And you think you can do it on your own better. Imagine people working at Twitter telling the richest man alive how to run a business. Arrogance is most people's problems. I know that in my life, I thought that I was the crap. Life hit me the hardest. The more I learn to drop my ego and be a lifelong student of those who are above my pay grade, and the more my pay grade went up. So if you're not rich, successful, happy, which is one of the three reasons why, most likely it is you don't want to admit that you can rewire your thinking and change all with one decision, right? We got to get around successful people. We have to get around people that are way above us, right? If you're at the top of your five people around you, you have nowhere to go. You're just at the top. If you're the bottom, you gotta can those four people, so you're at the bottom, so then there's only one way to go up. And that's something that is super super important in knowing and seeing these types of things, right? This is what you will see, as I see more and more, and I help people do more and more, I see people's friend circles change, right? Because they're not doing what they were doing before, because that only got them to this point, right? Donovan, for instance, he was doing $200,000. And then we got him to shift a little bit. Now his friend circle has changed. His network has changed. His different people have changed. And guess what? His lifestyle has changed, his income has changed, and it all has went up. Why? It's because you're going to find that different circle of influences. If you want to get stuck in the same spot, then don't move. Just sit there and you will be stuck. And that's not a good place to be, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And so, I see a lot of businesses fail, and that's kind of why I hit on this is, why do businesses fail is because most people think they know it all, right? Or they'll come in and they'll tell me, Jason, you just don't understand. You can't make money in my area. There's just too much competition, right? And the competition that they're looking at are the low guys. I've told this story before, but last year when not year 2022, but year 2021, I was at the huge convention, and there's a guy come up and was like, man, you don't even understand. You think Florida's bad? St. Louis, you can't make no money in St. Louis. There's 5 guys here right now, and we're all in the same issue, and we're all having the same problems. And you know what Dan Platt asked him? Have you talked to the dude that's making $1 million? Are you talking to the dude that's making 1.5 million in that area? Or are you sitting there around with your 5 little friends and you're all boo-hooing with each other because you're not smart enough to go find the people that are making it and seeing what they're doing and figuring out what they're doing and reverse engineering what they're doing to get to the 1.5 million, to get to the $1 million? If you're in Atlanta, I would be figuring out, and maybe not even Atlanta, Wise Guys, right? He's going to be at $2.5 million within a 15-mile radius, right? Crazy numbers. And this isn't just, oh, Jason's talking crazy numbers. This is the truth, But what he's done? He's in coaching programs. He goes to Tommy Mello and learns from him. He learns from people way above where he's at. And you know what happens when you learn, when you set yourself to the bottom and you start learning from the top people? Guess what? You're going to be able to do it too. There's nothing special about these people. There's nothing special about people that have made it very successful. It's not. And, sometimes people think that you overthink it, right? And I know I'm kind of talking big numbers, but we can even go down to little numbers. We can come down to, do you think you can do 50,000? If you're at the $50,000 range, then let's get around people that are doing 100, 200,000. If we're at the 100 to 200,000, let's make sure that we're getting ourselves around the $500,000 people, the $1 million, right? We got to change our influences into on our lives so that way we can grow. And so these are things that we need to do to make it to where we can get to the next level. So we don't have to put our rigs for sale. Now, sometimes I see people and they get to 100,000, they get to 150,000. Jason usually sends them Hefner because he likes sending me a lot of people that are going out of business, and as he's trying to buy these people. And he always asks them, let me see your tax stuff, let me see that. And when you ask that, it usually goes, whoa, we can't give you that because we didn't make no money, right? So you kind of got to be careful who you're listening from. There's a lot of people out there that will give you a whole line of crap. I promise you, there's people out there that haven't done nothing, but they say they have done the world. I've seen it. I've seen it over and over and over. It's not even funny. You go on YouTube and you can find a whole bunch of gurus out there that said they've done a whole lot of money and they haven't done nothing. They've sold more in classes than they ever did in their pressure washing business. I would promise you that. And I can start naming a bunch of them off, right? But that's not what you got to be careful. Be careful what you're listening to and who you're getting your information from. And right now, stay away from the Facebook groups. The Facebook groups are going to get toxic as all get outs coming in wintertime. How do I know? It hasn't changed from when I was in 2014. Actually, I was going through my all my fast places to go, where I can just click them, and I have a pressure washing folder, and in that pressure washing folder I have all the old forums that I used to go to. PT State, Professional Roof Cleaning and Pressure Washing Institute, Pressure Washing and Contractors Cleaning Forums, Pressure Washing Resources, right? These were all the places that I was in and I was learning from them, right? And you know what happened in the wintertime? Everybody wanted to see who's had the biggest hose or who had to be the biggest prick is what it ended up being, and how you suck and nobody, stay away from those people. Those people will not help you. It's a toxic environment. I promise you, it's a toxic environment. And so just be careful where you're getting your information and be careful what you are doing, because this is definitely something that I don't want you to fall into the trap. You can go spend hours in these Facebook groups, but what I would rather you do is spend hours in your business, right? Working on things that's going to help your business. And you might say, what can I do right now to keep my business from failing? Well, right now, this is a great time to be working on your website. If you have a website and you haven't done nothing to it, start writing blogs on it. Blogs are a good way will help us get it going. Right now, if you're not busy, I know some of you are doing Christmas lights. I know some of you in the South are still busy, right? If you're in Florida, you're probably still busy. Jason, I always talk about Jason because it's just amazing to see how far he's come in 3 years, right? That's why I love talking about Jason. So, as of September and October, he did $30,000 months part-time. He's a full-time firefighter. He does 56 hours riding a buggy, so it isn't even just an easy, he's not at a retirement house. He's actually at a busy house in Florida around the Sarasota area, and he has done $30,000 the last 2 months each. So he did $30,000 in September, $30,000 in October, and he's going to hit $35,000 in November. Basically part-time. He don't work many weekends. If he works weekends, he has to make enough to go to Disney. And so that is what his thing is here. And I will answer your question for sure also, servant, because I will hit on that, what we can do for that. So, Jason is one that is killing it, right? But you know what? He's doing all the things. He hasn't stopped just because he has finally slowed down the AdWords a little bit because he's so busy. He hasn't been able to keep up with everything. And so he does all the things. He does all the pieces that we need to be doing. And so I'm going to give you some things that we can be working on in the wintertime when we're sitting around fiddling our thumbs, wondering what we can do. And this is some things that we can do. So blogging is a thing that we can write for our business. And so it is things like we can kind of do like pressure washing in Hebron, Kentucky. And we can show some pictures of pressure washing. We can write a 500 to 1,000 word blog about pressure washing in the Hebron area. We can talk a little bit about Hebron area. And so Hebron is a suburb of Cincinnati, right? I want to rank for Cincinnati, but I know Cincinnati is going to be hard to rank. But if I can rank some of these other cities around, then I can start getting my rank for Cincinnati. And so these are some things that we can do to try to help us get ranked for our thing. And so I know I've talked a little bit about it, if you suck at blogging, then there's some things that can help you to blog. For instance, if you go to Jasper. So if you go to pressurewashhelp.com/Jasper, and it is a way that it can help you write. It uses AI to write, and it can literally help you write blogs. And so that's one thing we can do, right? If we did 1 or 2 blogs a week and we worked on that, it's going to help our ranking on our website. It's going to help us get ranked. This can also help us get ranked for Google Maps. And so what we can do is we can talk about pressure washing in this area. Maybe, like I said, so if I'm working on Cincinnati, maybe I can rank in some of these other areas. So right now I'm in Burlington, Kentucky. And so Burlington, but Hebron's a little bit closer. So I'm going to start trying to rank in Hebron. I'm going to try to rank in Union, Kentucky for different keywords, house washing, pressure washing, different words that I'm going to try to use to get ranked. And then what I can do is on my Google My Business, I can sit there and I can send a page to Google My Business saying, hey, look, here's some houses in Google My Business that I've done in Hebron, Kentucky. I've done in Union, Kentucky. And so this will help us get our reach for more of those areas, so that way we could get things done doing that. What kind of topics that I would cover in a blog? So some things that we could do is if you, for instance, maybe you do pressure washing, but maybe you also do concrete sealing, right? And so we could talk about concrete sealing. We could talk about, I'll show you here, maybe if I can get it pulled up here. I'll show you this one here of kind of what different blogs that we're talking about. I think it's blogs here. If I can find it here. There we go. So we're talking about different things that we can do for this. So for instance, here we got, we can talk about different things, right? We can talk about preventing ice home dams if you live up here. We can talk about different things that may help us get shown in search results. Quickly removing rust from pressure washing, right? We could talk about that. Say goodbye to mold on concrete with pressure washing. So we're looking for keywords that someone might be typing in and that we can give them a better reference for that. So how does soft wash differ from pressure washing, right? We can talk about different ways and different things of what we are doing, and this will help our ranking out for our website if we keep it going and doing the things we can do. And so you can go over here to Uber Suggest, and you can look at other websites and say, hey, what's their websites ranking for, right? What is, and it's a Neil Patel tool. And so we can go in here to, this is a good one here. I don't want this. I want to go back. I want to go back here. I don't know if it'll let me in here or not. But this is another pool here that is a good website to go look at and look at their blogs. And this comes back from the book They Ask You Answer, right? It's a great book. It talks about a lot about this here. So this here is a great website to show you some of their blogs and what it does for them. So they blog all the time, and it's called They Ask You Answer is who wrote this book, who owns this business here. So they get, they have over 128,000 keywords. They have organic monthly traffic of 310,000, and they have a domain of 51, which is super duper amazing. So you can scroll down here and say, all right, so these are some things that you can write about here. So look, 25 small in-ground pool ideas for all budgets, right? We could write something about pressure washing along these lines. We can make it about something along these lines here. And so then you can go look at their blog, and they have all kinds of blogs. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands and all kinds of blogs here, right? They have, they're originally from Virginia, but now they're trying to move into Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Because they're going to get leads down there. And so these are some things that you can go through and see how they did their blog, and you could make your blog about pressure washing and do the same thing, right? You could do the same thing. Rectangle versus curvy swimming pool, which is the best shape for you? You know, is soft washing is good? You know, you could do different things to do this. And so if you read the book, They Ask You Answer, he will talk more about how they grew this pool company to be just freaking amazing. And that's how you can do it, right? Look, and you might think, well, I don't want to write that on there. But do you think you could write about pricing guide in your area? Well, yes, you could, because there. And you know what? I guarantee you they don't talk nothing about price, right? How much does it cost to put an in-ground pool in Florida, right? They're putting keywords that they know people are going to cost. So then we talk about the pros and cons. They talk about the availability, and then they give a price range. Well, guess what? You could give a price range on a house wash versus concrete cleaning versus whatever, right? And so these are some things that you can do to make this happen, right? They have pictures, they have graphs. If you can put some video in here, and then they got a conclusion of what it is, right? And these are some things that you can do in the wintertime that will help our website start ranking better and better as we go. And so this is definitely something that you have to do. I can't wait to the website, to our company that you made for us. And actually, I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to make one probably better for you for now. But yes, these are things that we can do to look at this stuff and say, how can we make it sound better for this? And again, if you don't know how to write stuff or you don't know what to write about, go look up They Ask You Answer. I promise you, it's a great book to read. It is definitely something that you need to do. King, who taught you SEO? I paid about $20,000 in classes because I did what everybody else did of go spend $5,000, and they promised me the world, and my phone was just going to blow up. And by me doing this, my phone was just going to ring if I paid them $5,000, and my phone didn't ring. So I went and learned how to do it myself. All my marketing, that's how I learned. I've been to California. We went out there for some classes. I've been to Chicago learning about it. I've been all over the place learning how to do, this is some things that I always tell pressure washers, right? It's not about just going to the pressure washing conferences and that's the only place you need to go. In fact, I'd say don't go there. go to other places and learn and network with other people. That's not just in pressure washing, right? I met people at traffic and conversion. I met people at different conferences that I went to learn so that I could help other people, right? I, you know, that's why it's about being diverse. It's not being about, oh, I'm going to go to the pressure wash. It's just like I was saying about Wise Guys. He listens to Tommy Mello. Tommy Mello is going to do like $40 million or $100 million in garage doors. Ain't got nothing to do with pressure washing, but Wesley learns from him and takes that and what he can put into his business and puts it in his business. And guess what? He's got a 27-year-old kid that's going to do $2.5 million in a 15-mile radius just doing pressure washing. Now, is that pretty awesome? Heck yeah, that's pretty awesome, right? Did he learn that just from a few people here in the pressure washing world? No, he didn't learn it from just the pressure washing world. When I did my interview with him, he had read over 60 books in that last year, right? He takes that information and he puts it into his business, and guess what? He's blowing up. And that's the beautiful thing about doing the things that you need to do to make you where you need to get to. Let's see. I'm gonna go up here. Should I put my logo on my gray 2000? You can. If you as a business owner not making money, then it's you, as you are the one who is managing your business. You failed yourself and let your business close. And sometimes it's, you get lazy, right? Sometimes, I was thinking about this of, there was a guy that comes to one of our classes, and Donovan was going to give him a job, and he was going to try to set him up in his own area so that he could actually eventually just start his own business and do it that way. And the dude went back to the truck driving job just because that was easier, right? And so instead of taking the risk and making a little bit less now, but would make way more in the end, decided not to do that, right? He was in the same area of Charlotte I've got a couple in Charlotte that's done almost 100. I know they did over 100,000 so far. They're probably close to $150,000, and they literally work 10 hours a week, 2 days a week, every weekend. They only work 5 hours a day, 10 hours a week, right? Now, she puts in a little bit more than that because she does the marketing and answering the phone, but actual work is 10 hours a week. And so these are some things that you can do in that area, and he would have made way more money, but he didn't want to take that risk. As always, you are one of the best giving good advice. Most groups and most people in these groups are a waste of time. 1,000 of new people and 1,000 of BS people, and only 100 in the groups who actually does something. Jason, who? He is in here now. I build blogs. Google loves content, especially new content. Yep. It's easy once you start. Again, that's something, like I said, go read They Ask You Answer. It's a great book. A great book. 100% recommend you to read ask book. Provide your Google My Business. Take pics. Leave your location on the phone. Upload the pic to your Google My Business. This location is in the metadata. Yep. There is a lot of people that are just not cut out for being a business owner. And I agree with that to a point, because there's people I'm like, how are you making it? And they're making 100 grand, right? And then there's people that I look at and I'd be like, man, they should be successful and they can't get success to save their life. And I agree that not everybody is for that. Thanks for all you do, man. Hey, Jason, what about using the 12 by 18 signs instead of the 18 by 24? Do you think that will stay longer? I do think they will stay longer sometimes, like especially if you're putting them on poles, stuff like that. They're not, who was it telling me that they use the 18 because and they're not getting pulled. Oh, I know who it was. So my guy services, I had him on my Christmas light channel. He puts out thousands of signs a year, and he does do some smaller signs, and sometimes the smaller signs do stay up longer because they're not so like, hey, in your face and that kind of thing. So he does both. He puts both of them up, but the little signs definitely take care of that. um, oh, that's actually a good point. If you use a 12 by 18, you can get two on each sign and cut it in half. Wonderful lesson learned. Don't let your company define who you are. You define what your company looks like. Separate personal life from business. Please don't take your company home. Leave it daily. Yeah, this is something huge too, especially it can ruin marriages. It can tear families apart. It can be all kinds of things. So if you all have any questions on anything, don't hesitate to ask. Um, we do have a really good deal going on right now. If you go to kingofpressurewash.com, it is 50% off the yearly. It's probably the best deal you're going to get. Put in Black Friday 2022. It expires tomorrow night, Monday night. My wife put it on there for me, all nice and pretty. See, look how beautiful handwriting that is. I can't write. I can't read my writing to save my life. So, what are some goals that you want to hit for 2023? And this is a good time to start looking at our goals for 2023. And even like what I was just saying, maybe and I know everybody wants to hit money goals, right? Everybody wants to hit money goals, and that's fine. But what are some goals that you want to hit, not just money goals? How many signs a week you want to put out? How much marketing per month do you want to do? How much, how much, how many social media posts are you going to post? How many videos are you going to post? Write these goals down, so then that way when you start going, you can look at your goals and you can say, all right, I got that goal done, I got that goal done, I got that goal done, right? These are some things that will help you grow. This is probably I know it was the one thing that helped me grow my business. It's helped me grow both my businesses. When I started to grow in growth mode in 2014 for my pressure washing business, it was, hey, I'm going to spend $2,000 a month every month in AdWords, and I'm going to put out 100 yard signs a month, right? And that was something that I did that helped my business grow, because at that point I knew that AdWords was getting my business to where I wanted to go. And so at that point I could say, I knew how much per customer it was costing me, and I knew how much it would cost me to get more customers. And so these are some important things that we look at so that we can grow, right? A lot of times we're like, oh, I don't want to spend money, but at the end of the day, look at it as you're investing in your own business, right? Don't look at it as just an expense. Look at it as an investment. And so with that, that's how I grew my pressure washing business. I was getting my website ranked. I was still paying money in ads. I paid money in ads all the way up to I sold my business. I was spending $1,000. I knew if I spent $1,000 a month per truck on ads, it would get me $8,000 to $10,000 per truck. And so I had 4 trucks. And so that's how I was getting $40,000 to $50,000 a month. But that was just from the ads. And then I was getting other money from doing commercial work and doing those things. So then that way it was things that would allow me to do it. For this business, how did I grow this business? Well, 3 years ago, I made a commitment that I was going to do 2 lives and 2 videos every week. I've failed at that. I still do 2 lives. My 2 videos have not been there. So one thing that my goal for the next year is I'm going to go back to 2 videos, my 2 lives, and I'm going to try to do 3 shorts, YouTube shorts, and I'm going to try to get better at doing more video. I've kind of let it fail. I've got a lot of video now that I've kind of gathered that I can start putting more video up for you guys. And so that's my goal for 2023, is to get more videos out for you guys so that you can be successful. I like being back at 100, 150 people. And some of this is, I believe, that my fault for not posting videos, not doing things that I need to do to keep growth in my channel. And so I haven't put a video out on here in a couple months, in about 2 or 3 months. And before that, I had only put a few videos out. And so these are some things that I'm going to do to help me grow my business so that I can grow my business so that you all can grow your business, right? I want to grow my business so that I can help you more. I want to be able to take more classes so that I can teach you all how to do better stuff. I've got some really cool things coming down the pipeline. For instances, I have websites. Right now, if you join the membership, you get a free pressure washing website. I'm also trying to work out some things that you can get a phone number, you can get a website, you can get, I'm going to start the follow-up system. So that way, rather if you get a phone call and you miss the phone call, it's going to automatically start asking that customer through text of the different questions. So then that way, when you do go get on, you've done got all their information. You done got their phone number. You done got their email address. We done got their address. We got their services that they're wanting, right? And we're going to set this stuff up so that way it's easy for you to be able to get more business, because that is probably the number one thing that will grow your business more than anything. And that is communication. Communication is the number one thing of why I see businesses fail. Businesses fail because they don't answer their daggone phone. That's why businesses fail. I see it over and over and over. You ain't got time for that. You're worried about this $20 an hour pressure washing thing that you're doing, pressure washing, versus worrying about answering that phone that could be a $5,000 job. And so we worry about this little pressure washing job that only costs us $20 an hour, that I can pay somebody $20 an hour, instead of worrying about focusing on what gets that $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 stuff that gets going. And so it's important that we make sure that we work on the thing that's going to grow our business, not the things that don't matter. And what drives me crazy more is you don't have systems. So one of the systems is why aren't you taking pictures? And you might say, I do take pictures. Do you take pictures of every job? And the answer is probably no. Are you taking pictures of you? Are you taking pictures of your employees? Are you doing these things so that you can put them in your GMB, so then that way you can make that happen? Got a question on how to start a GMB for the new Christmas site you made for us. So what you need to do is your address. You may want to do like Suite A or Suite B. You can use that phone number that's on there, and then that way it'll have its own phone number. It'll have its own everything in GMB. And then that way, I've also got some things coming up in here that if you give me those, or if we put all those phone numbers in there, I can send out reviews to everybody, right? I'm going to send stuff that's going to send 3 to 4 to try to get reviews. And guess what else we can ask when we're asking for reviews? We can ask for referrals, right? Because referrals are an amazing thing that we need to be asking for. You going to ResponsiCon? I don't know. DJ has been asking me a lot, and I don't know if I'm going or not. I gotta sit down and look at my schedule, because my schedule is getting kind of crazy, and I haven't even looked at it. Good point. I had a big boy sit down with the wife a month ago. I've got 2 years, and either my job or business goes. It seems small, but I want to get a dedicated work truck, especially for the business. It's wrapped in separated storage place, shop for it. It actually helps you out. Success needs patience to grow. Yes, sir, Jason. Having trouble keeping up with this information, writing it down. Um, I won't do automatic phone answering system. I don't won't even answer when I hate it and go through the 5 minute robo voice. This isn't even through that. It's all through text. So once you don't answer your phone and it goes to voicemail, then it's going to send a text and start trying to get that information. My goal is for 2023 and 175,000 in 7 months in Madison, Wisconsin. It can definitely be done. Definitely be done for sure. But just keep pushing forward, guys. Keep setting your goals. You can do this. There's nothing special about this, And so the book this week that I recommend you to read is They Ask You Answer. It's a great book. I like that book. It's a great book. It works good for sales. It works good for marketing. It works good for a lot of stuff in that book. It's not that expensive. You can go get the audio version for like less than $20, I believe. If you don't have $20, message me and I will get you a book because I don't want it to hold you back. But these are some things that you can do to make your business grow, guys. Don't ever stop learning. I think that is the number one thing that I want to push more than anything. Don't ever think you know it all. Don't ever think you know it all. If you think you know it all, you will fail. I guarantee you, you will fail if you think you know it all. You don't know it all, and you will never know it all. Things change, right? And so it is important to make sure that you do everything you need to do. Tell about the paid class and discount code again. So you can get the yearly, put in Black Friday 2022. I think it does all have to be capitalized. 50% off yearly is what it is. It's actually a really good deal. They Ask You Answer. That is the book. Yes, 100%. And it is something that you guys can grow a business, and no new business grows overnight for a year. It takes 2 to 5 years for a business to establish, to maintain income, and that's the thing too, right? I mean, I see that and I like that, but I also like to see that, where was it at right here? Hey, thanks so much to you and your help consistently posting content, Jason. Our company's first year, power washing and soft washing, we have done $150,000 and over $20,000 in Christmas lights, right? You know how you do this right here? This isn't nothing special. I guarantee you, Connor, there is nothing special about Connor. But you want to know how you get to these numbers right here? Is you're taking action. You're taking action. You're making it happen. Look, yard signs, networking, systems, and hustling, right? And guess what you do when you do all that? You can do $150,000. Now, there's no guarantee that you're going to do it in your area, or I'm not guaranteeing nothing, but I'm telling you one thing. If you do the work and you put into it, you can definitely get out of it. DJ, he did right around $150,000, $160,000 in pressure washing alone, literally working almost part-time. He don't work on the weekend, and he leaves in the morning around 10. He does 1 to 2 jobs, and he's back before 2 o'clock. Pretty much every day of the week. And so he don't work Monday or January, February, March. Sometimes he works in March, but March through November, and he's been able to do March through October. He's been able to do over $150,000 in pressure washing alone, and he's at about $60,000 in Christmas lights. And this is a one-man band. His dad does answer the phone, but I want to see, this isn't just Jason saying this stuff. Jason isn't saying this just to blow smoke up your all's tail to make you think that you can't do this. You can do this. Connor did it. You can do it. And like I say, I bet you there's nothing special about Connor at the end of the day, right? But he did it. You can do it. I've got Nick Nutter. He's up in Pennsylvania, killing it. right? He's went from a full-time job to doing pressure washing and killing it. You can do this stuff. It's not rocket science. What the biggest thing is consistency. Consistency is the number one thing that's going to make you grow. Just because you go put out 100-yard signs today doesn't mean you don't have to go put out 100 signs next week, and 100 signs the next week, and 100 signs next month, and 100 signs 3 months down the road. It's not, oh, I don't want to feel like doing that today. No, it's consistency, right? I am consistently coming on this channel to help you grow. What happens when I come consistently to come help you grow? My business grows. I'm not going to lie. I would lie if I said I didn't grow if I didn't come on here consistently. I wouldn't come on here if I didn't have to, right? If I quit coming on here, and it's actually shown. I quit coming on here. I only do 2 lives. I don't do too many the other ones yet. And my channel has done this. I can show you my channel has done this, right? But you know what? I'm consistently coming on here twice a week still. And guess what? I'm basically this, right? So my goal is how do I grow? Just the same way I want you to grow. You go put out yard signs. You go do your Google My Business. You post pictures on Google My Business. You post on Twitter or Facebook and Instagram and anywhere else in Google My Business, right? And we do this consistently. We post on LinkedIn. I haven't even hit on LinkedIn yet today, right? We're posting in LinkedIn, and we're connecting, and we're trying to find other people on LinkedIn so that way we can grow there. And so guess what? When we do all the little things, your phone will ring over and over and over from all the little things. And that's why it's important that we do all the little things. Did I do it wrong? Black Friday 2022. That's it. If you have problems, send me that should get it off there. Make sure you're on the yearly too, so that it works. Click on the yearly one. My through process changed when my circle changed. My thought process. This is huge. The people that you're around, you got to get around better people. And I know it's hard sometimes. Sometimes we got to cut family loose. Family can be the worst. Family can be the worst people in your circle. People that are, you can't do this, you're no good for that, blah, 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 blah. You got to get those people out of your life. It is not good for you. You guys can definitely do it. Trust me. It is just putting the work in. $205,000 first full-time calendar year, almost $60,000 in Christmas lights our first year. Jason knows his stuff. Who is this? I don't know who it is, but that's pretty cool. I'm trying to think who that is. And we still got another month to go, right? This is awesome, guys. Oh, I think I know who this is. This is, I need to message you actually. This is awesome, right? This is awesome. You can do this. It's amazing what you can do. There's nothing special about people. Rivertown, what you think? 2023 marketing calendar need to be done by end of year. Goal for 2023 needs to be put on writing, and end of year, no excuses. Write it down. Write it down where you see it every day. Write it down on a big board that you just see what your goals is, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, everything. Tyler, okay. Awesome. Write it down. Look, Tyler did $205,000. What would $205,000 change your life? That's the question. Would $205,000 change your life? And Tyler, I would love for you to come on one of my lives. I want more and more people come on the live that are successful. Even if you're not successful, I still want you to come on the lives because we want to make this happen. A broke mindset is hard to get out of, but a ghetto mindset is even harder, but it's working on it. Talking about the broke mindset, I come from a broke mindset. We were poor. And it is hard. Me and my wife was talking about it today, of things that we do that is still of that poor mindset. There's small things that we do that we do because of it. And it is hard to get out of it. I promise you, there's things I still do because I have a broke mindset, right? And trying to change that mindset is not easy to do. It's tough. It's not easy to do. It doesn't just change overnight. It doesn't just change because you started making money. You still have bad habits that you will have to break. And there's a lot of things that can cause this, and it's not always a good thing. Super excited about my first year pressure washing. I'm excited for you too, Caleb. I hope you hit $100,000 your first year at 15, 16 years old. If you fail to plan, you most certainly plan to fail. $100,000 will change my life. Yes, I'll be glad to help in any way. All right, guys. Well, I'm at my hour. I hope I give you some value. I hope you can learn something. Take action. If you didn't learn nothing else, just take action. Take action is the most important thing you can do. Take action and be consistent. Whatever you're going to do, just be consistent in it. When you're consistent in it, it will grow. I promise you, it will grow when you're consistent. It will grow, and you will grow like crazy. It's crazy how being that. And the other thing is, too, is don't always look at what we failed at, right? Don't look at the gap. Look at the gain. Look back what we've done last year and say, man, look at this. I want Tyler to look back this past year and say, man, look at this. Man, I did $205,000. You know what? I failed because I didn't make it to 250 and worry about that 40,000 I didn't make. But I want you to look back and say, man, I've done $205,000. Look what I've learned along the way. Look at the skills that I have honed and learned and crafted along that $200,000. Look at that. That's amazing. Don't be like, I failed because I didn't make it to 250. Look at where you come from. And a lot of you have come a long way. When I look at people like this one here, he come from nothing, right? Making $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year at Pepsi, and now he's going to do $750,000 pressure washing, right? Don't look where we missed. And you know what? If Chris only hits 700,000, is that a failure? No, because he can look back and say, look what I've learned. Look what I've crafted. Look what I've honed my skills on. Look how I sell better. Look how I market better, right? These are things that we're looking at, and that is amazing at the end of the day. But other than that, I hope you all have a good night. Again, Black Friday, if you have any problems, you can message me on Facebook, and I will try to get it hooked up for you. Hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.